Hi, welcome to the Creative Voice Archive, a growing collection of conversations of the arts, where I talk about the ideas, the inspirations, and what it's like to be a creative today. My name's Tim Burgess, and welcome to the Creative Voice Archive. On this episode of Create the Voice Archive, I went to the studio of Bristol-based illustrator and multidisciplinary artist Martia Zubieta. Her vibrant graphic work blends everyday life with surreal imagery, exploring themes like technology, identity, and modern anxiety through bold colour and playful symbolism. In this conversation, we talk about her journey into art, how moving to Bristol shaped her creative voice, and the ideas behind the distinctive visual language. This is Martia Zubieta, and this is the Creative Voice Archive. Hi Marta, thank you for inviting me to your studio. I want to start off with the first question, if possible. As you were drawing since you were a child,
Yes.
and what first pulled you towards making them images?
I have no idea, it just came naturally. I guess as a child you just play with imagery, right?
Oh. And you stepped away from art later on though, didn't you? And then, like for a while, but then you were brought back to it?
Yes, so I did fine arts in Spain, and it was a very old program. So it was in the University of Sevilla, and we would mainly just draw live models and live landscape every day.
I do remember them things as well.
So I finished my career, and I knew how to draw and paint very well, but I hadn't learned anything about concept or business side of the arts.
Yeah.
So I found myself without purpose, not really knowing what to do. So I studied graphic design after that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that in Spain, it's really tough for young people to step into a paid career, because you end up just jumping from internship to internship. And I wasn't getting paid for my graphic design jobs for like 2 years. So I had to find jobs being a function band singer and singing in like function gigs, all sorts. Shakira, I Will Survive, anything to pay the bills. At some point, my mom was like, Marta, you look depressed, what are you gonna do? I had a friend that moved to Bristol before me, and he told me, Marta, Bristol is super fun, there is a lot of music, there is a lot of arts, you should give it a go. I wasn't speaking English very well at that time, so I thought, well, maybe it's good I do it now while my brain is still malleable and I can learn some English. So I moved here. I couldn't find any job in design. They would tell me that my portfolio was too arty, too creative. I think also I couldn't speak English very well.
Yeah.
So I ended up working in hospitality for like 5 years.
Okay.
Developing music at the same time, not actually art.
But that would also develop your English working in hospitality as well.
Yeah, it was a good step into learning English, and the music was a good step into learning English too. So maybe because I couldn't speak English very well and I felt so isolated, because obviously I couldn't make real friends, like, local people will talk to you a few things, but if you are not able to get in a deep conversation with them, it gets very shallow. So I was feeling so isolated, I started to draw again just as a need of expressing myself or connect to a broader audience, maybe through Instagram, which was the case for me. Then my drawings started to get more famous, people would share them. In the bar I was working, I was very lucky. They were pushing artists, or maybe because half of the staff we were artists, they said, why don't we do an exhibition for all the staff in #1 or in the canteen? And we did this exhibition, and then people were asking for t-shirts or were asking for prints, and that was my first starting point for selling my art. Yeah.
So on that note, so how did moving to Bristol change the way you thought about your creative practice?
Well, it changed a lot. Before I was just doing like expressionist paintings. I can show you later some. And coming here and seeing all the street art and the pop art, more like rebellious art with messages, and also the music, which was so new. Because I was Spanish, I ended up playing in Latin American bands, and then they wanted me to do the art for them. So I started looking into Latin American art expressions and merging it with my style, and all of a sudden I was making more pop art, more colorful, more silly, more graphic, and it all clicked together.
Wow, so you find your little niche then effectively with everything that's influenced it. You said your work grew organically through music. Can you talk about the connection? Was it just the band?
Should we stop till they do the day?
No, carry on. We're in the studio.
Is it okay? You want to repeat the question?
Okay, so how did moving? You said your work? We start myself now. You said your work grew organically throughout music. Can you talk about what that connection is? You talked about being in the bands. Was it directly from that, or was it now?
Yes, so I was in a cumbia band called Camo Clave. Everybody else was English. At the beginning was really difficult because I couldn't even talk English, so composing the songs was really crazy. Thankfully they let me compose in Spanish. And they saw that I had been doing arts before, so they were like, can you make the CD cover? Can you make some posters for the band? Then the percussionist was also the leader of this music collective called Warm Disco Club. And he was like, can you do the posters for Warm Disco Club? So all of a sudden I started making posters that would be in the streets in Bristol that were all related to Latin music, so it would have all these like crazy leaves and masks and animals, tropical elements, and it all worked really well with the way I was exploring arts at the time. And then more people started seeing it just because it was out there in the streets. And at the same time, I applied to do a master degree in UE, Bristol UE in graphic arts, just to try to learn more English and to get my career back while I was working in hospitality and doing the music. And that was really good. There was a competition to do the Christmas card, and I did this Bristol scene with the Bristol bear that now has been removed from the bear pit. Go around the giant and the suspension bridge, you know, the typical elements. And my design was good, but I didn't win. I lost. That was okay, but then I used the same design to apply for the Bristol Pound, and I won the competition. And all of a sudden my design was in the Bristol Pound notes. And that was a big push, because thanks to that I could apply to sell my products at Visit Bristol and other shops. Before that I had tried to sell my prints in some shops. They said it was too weird. And now through winning the Bristol Pound competition, they were like, actually, yeah, okay, we want to sell your stuff. So that opened the scope for me to selling in several shops in Bristol, becoming like a bit of a known designer. That same year I did my first Upfest mural.
How did that feel, that Upfest mural, really your first one, to be working on such a scale?
Well, it was one of the little boards at first, but it was really good, and thanks to that I started selling my prints at Upfest Gallery. And I've been working with them since, so they've been super supportive with me since 2018.
Yeah, they've been quite supportive across the arts in Bristol, as we know. So even still, what I'm saying is that you work on a camp, you know, to jump from one scale to the next. It's quite a trip, isn't it? Did you find that more of a challenge to do?
Well, I have done it in fine arts before, so I felt like all that knowledge I got trapped in the back of my mind was coming out, and I knew how to like do the grid. There are so many supportive artists here in Bristol that I could ask, okay, how are you doing it? I learned to do the doodle grid, to do the mural overexpose with my picture in the screen, and just through my phone kind of use the natural architecture to like make it as a grid in my mind in the picture. So I learned a lot of things just by asking other artists and getting into it.
So your visual language is very much distinctive, as we know. Where did you start recognising it was yours?
What a question. I don't know. I guess I didn't started recognizing it was mine. It was more the people started telling me that they could recognize it was mine. I feel like at that time I started creating like a color palette specific. I tried to repeat the color palette as an exercise over and over and over in every artwork, and I would force myself to follow the same type of like line work, the same type of color, and then try to explore the same sort of topics so the artwork could be cohesive.
Yeah.
And that just by repetition, just by putting it out there, you end up creating collections that share like a concept, that share a visual language.
And with that comes momentum, with that cohesiveness, obviously.
Yeah, it is also double sword, how you call it? Double-sided sword, how do you say it?
Double.
Like, when it can be good and it can be bad. Double-sided play. How do you say it?
Double-sided play?
The same. Like, it can also be negative because you end up trapped in a same style, and then it's really hard to explore other avenues that maybe you will be very good in. And I think maybe it happened the same to you with the poetry and the artwork. You end up doing the same thing over and over and over, and then you end up thinking, is that all I am? But
I think as an artist, on that note, as an artist, I think the power of wanting to create overestimates, and even though you feel stuck in doing one vision. I mean, you got some of the greats that have actually switched completely. Even Francis Bacon switched his artwork. Look at his early work to his later work. Doesn't devalue the work. In fact, it's part of growing. So one chapter can be closed, and it can link. Your style is your style, but your subject could always change, or you could change the style and keep the subject. So you can mix it, I believe.
Yeah.
Because obviously one will always will also inspire the next project.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I fight those monsters by trying different techniques, like painting brings something totally different than doing art in the computer. I just explore lino printing.
Yeah.
This little thing, obviously, is black, but it's still.
We can still see your style.
Yes.
Your mark.
I need to keep working on it, though.
That's what I'm saying. Your mark could be your signature try, really, than the subject.
Yeah.
On that note, though, narrowing your creativeness, you're focusing. Did that dive you deeper into your creativity?
What? Sorry?
So do you think narrowing your focus helped you dive deeper into your creativity, though?
I think, yeah, having a focused style, it helps you to improve it and to get a more recognizable body of work, and that is better for being recognized by the public and accepted.
Yeah.
I think that's the main problem of when you are starting at the beginning and you want to try all the styles and nothing looks cohesive and you really struggle to know what you're doing. So when you find something that people recognize and people like, it's a big achievement.
I think you can, when you narrow, you can lose the joy of play.
That's what I meant before.
Yeah, it's the joy of play, that to experiment again.
It's a bit scary because then you feel that, oh, should I do this, or are people expecting me to do this other thing?
Yeah.
And it's a big fight against yourself, and even more with all the social media pressure. You feel like you really need to be true to the style. Sometimes you want to explore something new. Maybe it's not gonna work. Maybe it totally works.
I mean, that's one side of social media that is bad, that it ends up pigeonholing you because of you're scared if you unpigeonhole yourself, you upset the algorithms, I think. And then as soon as that happens, your followers could drop. And, a lot of other things. But I think if you reach a certain level, to 20,000 or whatever more, your followers kind of accept it.
That's true.
So they accept it, and then as long as you're not too jittery, they'll accept, I think, your natural incline. You make it look like an incline with your work rather than, oh, I'm just going to go around here and do this, because you're obviously got the skill. All you're trying to learn is the tool to implement it into your work or that style. Changing your style, I don't think you can naturally change. I think it's always going to be with you because it continuously develops. You can just change the tools that you use, or you can change the story you want to portray.
But it's tricky because, for example, I do like all sorts, like mural, or I paint on sculptures or vehicles. I change sometimes from like a very pinkish color palette and very simple theme into a more complex, big palette and a lot of characters. I have gone to portfolio reviews with agents to see like, why am I not represented by an agency yet? And they said, oh, well, your work is so varied.
Sorry.
They say your work is so varied, it's not cohesive enough for an agency to want to represent you. So I kind of have accepted that I will be forever a one-woman band, because I don't want to restrict myself into just doing pink, blue and yellow artwork, and I want to sometimes explore something different. It's really tricky.
Yeah. Well, a lot of your work touches on millennial anxiety. On our relationship with technology, where does that come from for you?
Well, as I said, I was feeling so isolated when I moved to Bristol. I guess that anxiety to connect, to feel part of something and to be alone, just brought me deeper into being constantly on my phone, and I could feel that my anxiety was rising, and I guess that's what comes across in the pictures. It's so like these characters trying to connect but being isolated. I started putting a lot of like flowers with eyes, and the eyes are like the people judging you, looking at you, the people behind their phones. The worms are like my doubts and my insecurities. I kind of started creating like a personal symbolism for those elements. Addiction with technology has gone even worse. Now it's just part of us, so deep we don't even think it because we accept it as it is.
That's it. We have one rule in my house is that when we're having dinner or if we're out together, the phones go away. No one's on the phone or anything like that. Just put them on flight mode. Unless it's something really important, then it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's a good practice.
Yeah. It's only to create a moment in everyone's day that they actually have proper connection. I think is a cue. But then obviously they're also dead handy as well. So technology is ever a tool if we want it to be. I think, and it's the marketing that drives that tool for how much they want you to be on it. That's the constant scrolling, the TikTok. So everyone's got to be that 5 minutes of everybody wants to be that 5 minutes of fame. The next. It's a sad state of affairs, I think. So that's why I think I connect with the anxiety today. Is not just you. I think it arrives for everyone that's using technology as an addiction.
Yeah, totally. So I make the art to reflect on what is happening. Maybe just as a way of expressing it in the best way I can do, because
it's like a Hogarth of today, isn't it? Instead of Victorian London, you're doing millennial Bristol. 100 years, 50 years time, you can look back and go, what were those things? And they didn't actually talk to each other and things like that. It's quite a narrative of. You're recording a narrative of today, but then again, you're also using the style of today, a very illustrative style.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you should call yourself a Hogarth kind of style.
Yeah.
Telling the story.
Yeah. Sometimes I compare the William Hogarth, Jean Lane,
Jean Lane,
and Beer Street.
Yeah.
With the artwork I did of the series of clubbing in England, which I recreate everything that I see when I go out, and everybody's addictions or ways of evade from a scary world that is around us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it very similar with that. Or Hieronymus Bosch did the Garden of Earthlight, no? And it was at the moment, it was like the TV for the royals, they could buy this triptych because it was going to be the entertainment of the night. They would maybe have some drinks in their palace and then open the picture and everybody will be analyzing the picture, talking about it, getting in it. So with my pictures, sometimes I like that, to think that people are going to spend some time thinking about the characters. What does this mean? Obviously, because you're not explicitly saying what it means, everybody can make their own mind and recognize whatever they want of themselves in their subconscious through the image. Maybe it's a totally different meaning, but it's valid.
I want to move on, really. I want to talk about your process and practice. What usually comes first for you? The idea, or a feeling, or a character? What comes through?
It varies.
Yeah.
It varies. It depends on the day. What am I doing? I don't know. For example, for the club pictures, I remember feeling very isolated in this club and looking at everybody. It was maybe 3 a.m. I'm thinking, oh my God, society's lost. And then starting to do all the characters that I could remember from the night and try to link it as well with the visual collective, like Mickey Mouse, Matrix, whatever storytelling we know. I find picking up pieces of collective storytelling, maybe through cartoon films, Disney and all of that, really, really works very well when you want to explain topics nowadays.
Yeah.
I did a series of Alice in Wonderland to explain my disappointment with lockdown. At that time, I was very into conspiracy theories, but my friends were fed up of listening to me talking about them, so I would just put them inside the artwork as a joke. That project went viral, so that was pretty good. And more recently, I have this tradition of trying to do a new artwork every New Year's Eve. And last year I did like Dorothy looking how her house is on fire and recording it on Instagram. Like the world is on fire and we are just looking how it burns through our Instagram in our houses. And 3 days after, Los Angeles was on fire. And then everybody thought that I had made that artwork because of what happened in Los Angeles. So it also got like a lot of repercussion, and that was crazy. I don't want my artwork to become a premonition of the times at all, because that would be super scary. Accepting and loving the artwork and talking about Los Angeles in the post.
So you had really positive.
I have really positive feedback. People love it.
It's nice, isn't it, when something lands, an artwork lands like that, and it's kind of it just slots into place with the time. So, do your murals and illustration and studio work ask different things from you, creativity?
Yeah, I feel like when I do mural, it needs to be more for every type of public, and the topics need to be a bit more open for all ages. So I try to do them more kinder? Yeah.
More softer.
More soft. Yes, so explore more like animals, nature, feminine, imaginary. Yeah, maybe I'm making a mistake, maybe people expect me to do something more political and I get scared, and that kind of represses my expression.
The thing is with that, you probably give a breath of fresh air by not having it political.
That's the thing. I think people are walking by the street and the world is already very grey, even more in the southwest of England, and then to see something depressing. I think mural is more for uplifting, so I try to make it like more happy.
And don't get me wrong, there's statements at some murals, we can go on with Banksy all we want, but statements of some murals and placement, that space probably would call for a political spot. And then there's other places where you think, I just want to brighten it up a bit, really. And people probably want to see that work in that kind of environment. So I think you're right with your mural placement. I don't think that you should go too political. You can record the area, obviously, but sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of.
But it really depends on the place. Like if I'm gonna do it for a pub, which I do a few commissions. Now I'm about to paint the Phoenix pub next week.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. So I just try to do it very psychedelic and kind of sexy, weird, and full of nature, because it's calling for like having fun times, evade a bit.
How long does it take you then from design to finish product?
So I think design is like a week, between going back and forward with the owner of the venue, seeing if the design is finished, and then probably another 4 days, 5 days to do it in situ for the production. Yeah.
So it's quite quick,
It's
effectively.
I mean, there is some street artists that do like a massive story building in 3 days.
Yeah. So you describe yourself as a mid-career with what you do.
I don't feel mid-career. I still feel young in the career.
The information, it's quite a good thing, though. What does that mean for you right now? What is?
I have no idea, because now it's a really weird time in which there is so many illustration jobs taken by AI. You can see there is a less amount of commissions, also editorial. They support more themselves on AI, or they just don't have the budget for it. You can feel the scarcity, or like how the dollar is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, also the things that Trump has done with the taxes for selling and buying from other countries. Like my sales to America have dropped quite a bit. So though I'm in mid-career, so I still have the fear of, will I have enough jobs next month? Some months are amazing, some months are very low. And as a freelance artist, you need to have like some savings to support yourself through the months that are not good.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm considering maybe getting a one day a week job in something totally different. Also, maybe it's not something bad; it's something refreshing, which takes a bit of the edge on the pressure of doing your career.
Would that be something creative though?
It could be creative. It could be working in a cafe with my best friend. Yeah. Maybe that helps me out with my mental health.
I think it could actually help keep the inspiration going. You got to have something to feed it.
Yeah.
So whatever you choose, I think you would enjoy doing that. You know, you're getting paid to get inspired. That's how I would look at it.
You don't never know. Sometimes I have a week of no work, and then the week after I have 3 new commissions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a week of no sales, and this next week I have sold a few prints, and that's great.
Yeah.
If it can sustain me and I can keep on creating personal work, doing music, and being happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Mid-career, well, I don't know. I guess, I would like to in the future do more tutoring other people, or diving into mentoring other artists. That would be amazing.
Yeah. So, what keeps your work feeling alive after like 8 years of practice?
I don't know. What should I say? I feel like, I don't know. You can always keep on exploring topics that are happening nowadays. You can always keep on like expanding the color palette. It still feels very relevant, even pictures I did in 2018 with how things are going these days.
So you got that longevity then, haven't you, really? So that's probably why it's not a dying thing. Where a lot of popular culture, 1 minute it'd be really big, and then a couple of years later it's gone.
I feel like it's still relevant, and the storytelling I use is still in our minds. I don't know how the Gen Z is reacting to my work, but there is still a lot of ideas to explore, so I'm not gonna stop.
I want to I've got a couple more questions for you, so don't panic. There's only a couple more, and that'll be it. But I want to finish off with one that I ask everyone. I'll come to that later. This one though is what are you curious about to explore next, even if you don't know yet?
Well, I'm getting into Procreate Dreams and doing like little animations. That is keeping me interested. And maybe try a new type of textures, new type of grading the images, and maybe making more political pictures, maybe simplifying. Right now, January is hard to create. This is an intense month.
Yeah.
I'm also getting married this year, and I just bought a house, so everything is a mess. What am I gonna do next? Well,
congratulations on the marriage.
I would totally like to get into little animations, mom, maybe mentoring. I also have the idea for setting up my own printing studio. That'd be nice too. There is so many things to do, and I am super doubty. So every day I wonder, should I be doing this or should I be doing this? Or I'm always throwing like stones to all the windows, see which one breaks. Yeah.
And my last question, I've asked this to every practitioner within the creative fields. If you can picture yourself in 5 years' time, what advice would you give yourself now? So where you've matured 5 years in the arts, what advice would you give yourself?
To not worry and keep making. To not doubt so much about yourself.
Worrying seems to be like the hottest thing for creatives to, because you worry rather than show trust in their work. It's quite a highlighted thing.
Well, it's just the amount of competition in the digital world a bit, because obviously there was this great moment of Instagram, and it was during the lockdown, which everybody was in it and there wasn't so much advertising. Now it's all a bit fake, so I feel like we artists are having to go into making a newsletter or a Substack, and I haven't done that yet. I need to get on that. I think it's harder now to reach customers, and then you feel that you are not as good as you were before, but I don't know.
I think it's, when you say that's imposter syndrome.
I have big imposter syndrome every year.
But then, to me, if you sell one painting, just one, it doesn't matter. Someone's, not so family, always family and friends will always love your work anyway. But even to a complete stranger across the world, see something in that. That should be enough.
Yeah, that's very nice.
It should be an appreciation from someone you don't have a relationship with, but they've connected with your work. That, I think, should be where your solidation should be. It's it's been trying to be content, I think, more than content, not so much content away from the social pressures.
Very true. That's what I will say to myself in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Try to not be worried, keep making, try to find the happiness in what you do. I've been doing it for so long, and I feel very lucky that it has maintained me through the years.
It's very much part of the sense of who you are. You don't see yourself anywhere else.
It's very much part of who I am. Yeah. So it's such an ingrained part of my identity now. I don't think I could ever lose it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Martia, for this interview. I hope you've enjoyed it. How do you feel?
Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah.
I want to make more things.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.